Hello, everyone, and welcome to our vlog for today, The Real Gift of Miracles. And so today we're going to be diving into the true nature of miracles and why they are not a reward from the divine, but instead a correction for our misperception. We're going to start looking at miracles in a different way. And again, why we don't get them because we're doing the good thing or the spiritual thing or thinking in spiritual ways. They're not a reward in that way. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this blog. So first, let's talk about what is a miracle. A miracle, according to A Course in Miracles, is a shift in perception from fear to love. And I want to be very clear, a shift in perception, okay? So when we talk about that shift in perception, what we're talking about is we're not talking about turning our bad perceptions into good perceptions. What we're really saying is we are shifting from the illusion of our ego to the reality of love or to the truth of love. Because let's say that you see something that disturbs your peace. Well, number one, where is that thing coming from? Is that just coming from out here in the ethers? No, it's coming from our own minds. So we're seeing an outpicturing of our thoughts and beliefs, maybe about homelessness, maybe about poverty, maybe about death, maybe about destruction. And just because I'm saying that does not mean that that this means we don't pay attention to it. You are experiencing it. Your experience is real as you have gone through it. What we can do, though, what we can now recognize and realize is say, okay, I'm going through this. And right now I'm seeing death, destruction, dismay, disorder, sacrifice, scarcity. I am seeing all of this stuff, and it is really disturbing my peace. And I don't know how to get out of that. But that's where the divine comes in and says, don't worry about it. I got you. Because behind that perception is the truth. And I have it there for you. All you have to do is ask for it. Ask for that correction of your perception. Because if we're the ones coming up with all this insanity, are we really the ones to undo that insanity or even know how to get out of that insanity? I would say no, we have no idea. So that's why we ask the divine for a miracle. And the miracle, again, is that shift in perception from fear to love. It is the correction of our misperception of reality. And it's not about you doing the spiritual thing and being like, oh, and now the divine has rewarded me because I asked for the miracle and therefore I've done the quote unquote right thing. You ask for the miracle because it is your divine birthright to see the truth. That is why we're asking for the miracle. That is why you receive the miracle, because the divine loves you so much that it says, this is scaring you. Let me show you the truth. This is scaring you. Let me show you how love would see this or how love would respond to this in whatever way, shape, or form. So I think that sometimes we have this belief, and I know I did, that there's you get a limited amount of miracles. Miracles are unlimited. You get as many miracles as you need to help you out of fear and shift to love. You get as many corrections as needed. And it's not about who gets the better correction or who doesn't need correction. That's not what it's about. The miracle is simply about the correction. Seeing the truth, seeing love. And that's what the miracle is. It's that correction of our misperception. We ask the divine for it. And we can ask as many times as we want, but we have to be very clear, or I want to be very clear about this, because when I first started, I was not clear about this. In the Course in Miracles, it says, apply miracles to everything. And I remember being like, okay, I want a miracle here. I asked for the miracle here. But you don't want to know what I was really asking for? I wasn't asking for a shift in perception. I was asking for a good illusion to replace the illusion that I was seeing, the illusion that I didn't really like seeing at that moment, maybe whatever it may have been. But I was also still trying to dictate the miracle and being like, well, this is what the miracle should be because this is what I believe I need right now. So chip chop divine, like, let's go. And it was just really another way of trying to manifest, trying to be like, okay, I need this instant manifestation. And if I just ask for the miracle, oh, here you go, I'll wiggle my way into getting what I want. Instead of, you know what, the miracle shows me what is true. And I want to share two personal parables with you about miracles and how they really are shifts in perception. So the first one is to deal with a relationship. So my dad's mom, I've never been close with her. She's always kind of been the grandma that, we go and visit. I'm super uncomfortable. I'm just kind of like, oh God, I just don't want to be there because there's not a very big, there wasn't, let me put it this way, there wasn't a big openness. And so I read the Course in Miracles. I was, really learning about this and I was seeing shifts and I was like, you know what? I want the miracle for this relationship with my grandma. Like, I want to see her differently. Now, does that mean that I had to go sit down, have lunch with her? Does that mean I had to, go over there and be like, oh, I only see the love and light in you? No, I had to do some work myself. I had to be like, okay, I'm willing to forgive myself for, believing that she's not a kind person. She's not a warm person. She's not a generous person. I had to forgive a lot of those ideas because I had a lot of stories about her, about just in my mind, about how she's just not a warm person, how she's not an open person, how, she just wouldn't be like the person that I saw like giving a lot. And so I was willing to, spirit, I asked for the miracle because we were going to go up there in like, I think it was 2 months. And I was like, you know what? I want to shift in this. I want to see it differently. I'm willing to see it differently. And so I worked diligently asking for the miracle, forgiving myself. Like if, a thought or an idea, an old memory came up, I saw it, I acknowledged it. Spirit, I'm going to give this over to you. And I'm asking for the miracle. Doesn't mean that spirit's changing the past because the past is past. It can't change it. But what it can do is correct my current perception because my ego was throwing everything out there. Remember this, remember this, remember this, trying to get me to stay in that judgment, that old story. And I said, no, I want the miracle. I want the truth instead of this. And so for me, that was practicing forgiveness. I forgive myself for believing, this old story. I am willing to let it go. Spirit, I'm handing it over to you. And so work diligently on that, ask for the miracle. We're going up there and I'm just like, I'm willing to see her differently. I'm willing to see this all differently. Holy Spirit, and you can just say Spirit. I just say Holy Spirit. I am asking for that miracle and I'm willing to have it. Okay. I'm willing to have it. We go up there, we greet her as we normally do. Hi, Grandma. How are you? I was also going to tell her, hey, Grandma, by the way, I started my own business where I do spiritual readings and other spiritual things for people. And that was, she was a teacher. I was doing teaching for many years. And, that was kind of something we kind of bonded over, but not really. And so it was kind of like, oh, I'm going to tell her this. And she's, not, again, in my perception, then she wasn't an open person. She wasn't going to be happy with me. She was going to, be disappointed or just be like, okay, whatever. But instead was willing to see it differently, asking for that miracle. And so we're all sitting at breakfast as we normally do when we go up to her condo in Chicago. And we go up there and, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, guide me to the right time, Spirit, just because I don't know. And so I just said, well, Grant, we're kind of going around the table talking about stuff. And I was like, well, Grandma, I started, she's like, what's new with you? And I was like, well, I started my own business. I decided to do, spiritual readings where I counsel people based on the spiritual principles of A Course in Miracles, because it's really helped me. And I just really want to help other people with this information. She was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was like, yeah. And, just kind of telling her about a little bit about it. And then we left. We went, as we normally do, to like go to the Fox Valley Mall. We came back and, had dinner, so forth, so on. But the most interesting thing was next day, she's like, oh, can you help me? I said, oh, with what? Well, I want to send a donation, to this thing, but it's not working on my phone. Could you help? I said, oh, sure, I'll be more than happy to. So help her do that. Then she's like, oh, are you guys doing anything? I said, no, I'm sitting down here. And she was like, would you guys like to come and help me donate this computer to the church? And I was like, number one, I didn't even know you went to church. Number two, okay, like this is a very nice computer. I was like, sure. And so, we go do that. And then we're leaving. And every time we leave, it doesn't matter. We all always get $20. And that's kind of it. That's our thing. And we say goodbye. And it was that day that we were leaving. And she gave me a hug. And I know for most of you, you're like, okay, no, you don't understand. We get the $20 and like, we of course give her a hug. She initiated it and she gave me a big hug and she said, and I will never forget these words, I'm so happy that you started your own business and, just so happy for you. And I was just like, who are you? Like, it was just great. Like, it was just such a shift, like her initiating the hug. And then she gives me $40. And I was just like, okay, like, this is crazy. So that's miracle story number one. And again, why did I get that miracle? Did I get it because I'm so super special? No. Did I get it because I was thinking nice spiritual thoughts? No. I got it because I was willing to see it differently, because I wanted that miracle. I wanted that shift in perception from fear-based thinking of she's not going to accept me, she's going to reject me, she, whatever the thoughts may have been. I want the truth. I want to see the reality of her. And I got to, and it was beautiful. And then my second miracle story is my mom recently has hurt her shoulder. She had rotator cuff surgery, as well as like a bicep surgery. And so she is on workman's comp for that. And so, she gets a paycheck and while she's, doing the recovery and stuff. Well, because it was Memorial Day, she didn't get that paycheck. And we weren't sure like when that paycheck was coming, and we need to get some groceries. And it was kind of like, well, what do we have here? And so I always save up my scratcher tickets. And then, at the end of the month, I go give them. I usually have like $150. So I said, I'm just going to go turn them in. We'll see what happens. So I did my $150 and I was looking, and there was just this one ticket and I was just like, it's $50. Like, do I really need to get that? I was just like, I don't know. And I was just like, Spirit, I don't know what to do here, but I'm just asking for the miracle, because I was going into fear and lack and scarcity. And I was like, this is not the will. I want your will. I want to see the miracle. And so I got the $50 ticket, and then I got a $20 ticket too. And I was like, this is what I feel guided to do. Give the lady the stuff and go back out to the car. My mom's like, oh, and then she's like, you got two? And then she looked and she's like, whoa. I was like, I don't know. I felt guided. I just scratched the bottom, scanned it with my phone. I paused for a second as I see on my phone, it just says you won $500. I am just in like, breathe, like, I'm gonna check that again. And I do, and then I scream and I'm like, oh my God, I just won $500. My mom scratches her ticket, she wins $100. We just win $600. Then not only that, we're like, okay, great, like we're set, we got the money, like we can go grocery shopping, do other things, pay other bills. And then all of a sudden she gets a text on her phone. The, workman's comp person was like, so sorry, you're not the only person who didn't get a check. I am sending that out immediately. It'll be hitting your account tomorrow. I also added in, for the inconvenience, this extra money. So it was just like money was flying in everywhere. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Now, again, why did I get that? Did I get it because I'm special? No. Did I get it because it was some sort of reward from the divine? No. Did I get it because I manifested it? No. I got it because I asked for the miracle. I asked to see the truth instead of my dream. And again, it's not about me getting the money. That's not what this is about. It's about me seeing the presence of love in my life. It's about me seeing that the divine is always there to guide us and that there is always another way of looking at things. So that is what the real reward of the miracle is. It's not about getting the thing. It's not about making, getting the bill paid or seeing your grandma in a different way and her handing you something. It's about seeing the love that's always around you and that the divine is always offering to you. That, to me, is the real reward of the miracle. It's not about, you don't get the miracle because you're, doing the right thing, even though doing the right thing is always wonderful and it makes you feel good. It's not about that. It's not about doing the right spiritual thing or saying the right spiritual words or acting in the right spiritual way. It's just about asking and saying, I want the miracle. And I'm willing to let go of my false perception. I'm willing to have the correction. I'm willing to see it differently. I don't know how, but I'm willing. And again, it's not up to you to know the right thing or to know what the miracle should be or how it should manifest or anything like that. Your job is merely to be present in that moment and ask. Another great miracle story is I was invited to do a talk in Ohio with a friend of mine. We're going to do a spiritual talk, super excited. We start, myself, my mom, my sister, we're all going to go up there. We're going to make it like a little trip. We all go up there. Halfway there, in between Ohio and Indiana, the car breaks down. Like it starts shimmying, it starts shaking. And like, we don't know what to do. There's no mechanic, like we don't know where we are, what we're doing. And so we pull over and first thing, Spirit, I asked for the miracle. My goal here is peace. And again, why did I say my goal is peace? Because really, I know within me, I was like, my goal is that I want this car fixed. I want it to get moving. I want to make it to where I want to get to. I was like, no, you know what? My goal is going to be peace here. So, and then for me, forgiving my ideas about, what the car, the car problems exist and just so forth and so on. And then just, 5 minutes later, my mom's like, well, what are we going to do? And I was just like, I just heard so clearly in my mind, start the car. And I was like, Mom, start the car. And she was like, but, and I said, just, I don't know, just start it. And so she starts it, we start driving she's like, there's no way we're going to be able to get back on this highway. I mean, because people are just zoom, 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 zoom. And I said, don't worry about it. I said, I said, I'm hearing in my head, right now, just drive. And so she just starts driving. It was fine. Absolutely fine. Got up there, didn't happen again, came back. Then as soon as we got back to like a place where we all knew, all of a sudden started shimmying, shaking again. We took it over to the local garage. They then told us it was like a transmission problem. It was going to be thousands of dollars. And again, Spirit, I'm asking for the miracle here. My goal is peace. I don't know what to do here, but I'm willing to see it differently. And, just not knowing. Then we're trying to figure out, like, should we get a rental car? Like, how are we going to pay for this? Like, I don't know. And then garage call, where we call the garage and we're like, we're not really sure how we're going to do this. Like, what's the number? What do we do? And they were like, what are you talking about? And we're like, we were told it was going to be, $10,000 to fix the car, if not more. And we don't have that kind of money. So do you guys have like a payment plan offer? Like, what do you do? And he was like, hold up. So he goes out there and he's like, I am so sorry. I don't know who talked to you. He goes, it's a spark plug. And I was like, we were like, what? And he was like, it's just a spark plug that's just misfiring. And he was like, I'm so sorry for this inconvenience and for scaring you. You know what? We're just going to do it for free. Just $20. Like that's for the, for the labor or whatever. And they're like, just pay us $20 and you're good. Paid him $20, car was fine. Never happened again. So that, again, why did I get that miracle? Did I get that miracle because I'm special? No. Did I get the miracle because I was because God is showering me with more gifts than anyone else? No, I got the miracle because I asked for it. I asked for that miracle. And again, the divine fulfilled it. And so I hope that with this today, this helps you to see that number one, miracles are infinite. Number two, miracles are not necessarily rewards for doing the right thing or for thinking the right way, saying the right words, doing the right techniques, but instead it is a beautiful gift of a correction from fear-based thinking of we're never going to get this car fixed, my grandma's never going to accept me, I'm not going to have the money to get what I need, to love showing you that love is eternal, that you will always have everything you need and more, and that everything is all that I will make sure you have everything you need. And so I hope this video helps. And again, if you're interested in learning more about me, my services, and just looking at my different posts that I put up throughout the week, feel free to go visit my website, awakeningmiracles.org. Awakening Miracles is one word, or you can also find me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/simply intuitive, also where I post very regularly.